Hi there folks, welcome to RRTV's live coverage of the Skip Barber Monday Lights. We're coming to you live tonight for round 11 at Oran Park, and as always we have in the comm box tonight with me Alex McKellar. Welcome Alex.
G'day Bernie, g'day everyone at home. Yeah, great to be back. Penultimate round of course here at Oran Park tonight. Pleased to say we've got an incredible strength of field here tonight. We've cracked the 4K mark, taken out the highest off of the week, which is not something we do very often. So quite an extraordinary field we've got lined up here tonight at this fantastic track. I'm looking forward to an amazing night of racing, Bernie.
Yeah, it's going to be absolutely fantastic, and I tell you what, I watched last race and Kevin Henderson, Tom Ward were going at it, banging wheels down the straight. It was all on, so hopefully that's going to happen again tonight in this race.
Absolutely, Bernie. Look, there's a veritable who's who of the local drivers out there. Throw in some really high caliber international drivers, as we sometimes see down here in this event, Bernie. And it's going to be action all around this tight, twisting, technical track. Some really hard-earned overtakes. Plenty of action through the opening section of the track as well, Bernie. Should be a fantastic event.
Yes, certainly will. And having a look at your top 10 as qualifying goes, folks, we've got David Dorm in provisional pole with a 1:12.925. Tim Gaukridge is in second, followed by Mikko Nasi third. Tom Ward sitting in fourth at the moment, with Timo Vascalampi now just being pushed down to sixth. Luke Whitten sitting there in seventh. Dylan Shepherd eighth. Sam Katakazinos ninth, and well, he's down to 10th now, and Dylan Shepherd just pushed him down. But I'm having a look, Kevin Henderson at the moment is down in 17th.
Wow, that's a surprise. Not sure what Kevin's doing with his laps tonight. I hope he hasn't sort of binned it at any point, but certainly some great names up the top there, some surprises as well. Surprised not to see Mikko Nasi on pole, widely touted as the strongest driver in the skips globally. I just see Kevin Henderson pop up to P5, so he's got his nose up there in the top 5 as well, Bernie. Again, what a lineup. Just don't know where to look for the winner tonight, Bernie.
Yeah, well, I'm not sure either, so I can guarantee the winner should be the one in front.
That's generally how it works, isn't it?
Yeah, that's my expert opinion on it, but I'm not going to pick a winner at all yet. I'm going to see how it goes. I'll pick it on the last lap because that's the way I roll. But let's have a look at the points as they stand at the moment. Oh, wrong one. Where is it? There it is. I always get that mixed up. So at the moment it's looking quite interesting, Alex. We've got Luke Whitten on 184 points. Kevin Henderson, he's moved into second on 172, and that's 1 point ahead of Hakon Grebstad. So it's getting really close up the top here.
Certainly is, Bernie. Dennis Fiedler sitting there in fourth. He's had equipment issues tonight, won't be taking the track, leaving the fight for the podium positions behind Luke really down to Håkon and Kevin. Both have got to get decent points to get them to count with the drop rounds now well and truly in play, but it's a really, really tight battle. And I know Håkon, who is out there, but he's down in P16 by the looks in qualifying, Bernie. So he's going to have his work cut out trying to get in front of Kevin in P6, Bernie. He hasn't had as much track time due to study commitments, so it'll be interesting to see how he goes.
Yeah, it certainly will, and we can see Mikko there on his hot lap. Well, he blew that. He just went on the infield, so that's the end of that run. But also, you're pretty excited as we came into the server, and can you tell the viewers why you're so excited?
Why am I so excited? I've forgotten.
The strength of field.
Oh, the strength of field. Sorry, yeah, absolutely. I was saying before, we don't often crack it for the highest strength of field of the week, but we're over 4,000, just cracking it at about 4,017, if I'm not mistaken, as the guys now line up to take their spot on the grid, Bernie.
Yeah, well, that was an anticlimax. I was building it up.
Sorry, you lost me there for a moment.
All right, so let's have a look at the grid. We've got David Dorm sitting in first, followed by Josh Anderson. Keep an eye on him. He absolutely blitzed the field last race. Jeff Rayleigh is in third, with Tom Ward starting out of fourth. Mikko Nasi, he's lined up in fifth tonight, with Kevin Henderson out of sixth. Out of seventh will be Tim Gaukridge, with Timo Vascalampi starting out of of 8th. Jared Marks has qualified in 9th with Luke Whitten in 10th. Dylan Shepherd, he'll start out of 11th tonight with Russell Clark out of 12th. Out of 13th, we've got Sam Katakazinos, followed by Christian Kabanka. In 15th, we have Jeremiah Morton, then Hakon Grebstad down there in 16th, and rounding out your field of 17 is Bart Martinovic.
Tell you what, there's some big names down the order this week, Bernie. Luke Whitten down in 10th. Great to see Jared Marks, on the other hand, qualifying inside the top 10, having just scraped in. He had a podium finish in that last race, which itself was in the top 5 strength of fields for the week, Bernie. He's just snuck in as car 17. Tim Gorcrotcher had a win in this event a couple of weeks ago. Miko Nassi, world number 1 driver, often touted, starting out of P5, Bernie. Josh Anderson, local hope there, sitting in P2. He's a fantastic driver, Bernie, but he's got his work cut out for him here tonight.
He certainly does, and we can see at the moment we're waiting for Josh to join the front row there, as well as the person now. Just waiting on Josh. It doesn't look like he's going to make the grid though, and we're underway here at Oran Park for round 11. Revs are rising. I'm seeing if Josh is out there. He is, and good start there from David, but look at Josh Anderson now on the inside, and he's bringing the field with him.
Yeah, he's got the inside run into turn 1. Not always the best run, but certainly gives you a look up the inside at least. He's dropped in behind there. This is where it all take place early on, Bernie. See if everyone can get through. I'd expect there to be a little bit of action here, but they've sorted themselves out well through turn 1, 2 on the first lap, Bernie.
Yeah, it's a pretty nice clean start, isn't it? So at the moment we've got David leading Josh, Tom Ward sitting in 3rd, Jeff Rayleigh in 4th. Now look at Miko Nasi already putting the pressure on and wanting to get up there, and of course he's got Kevin Henderson right behind him.
Yeah, that's right. Miko already looking to take advantage of what he can at the back here. It's a tough place to pass. So I heard Kevin Henderson say at the end of the last race, you've got to try and make the running early if you're going to gain positions. But no one really sort of making big leaps and bounds here at the moment, with the exception of Hawkon, who's already up 3 spots into 13th, Bernie.
Yeah, well, Hawkon must have had a really bad qualifying, because we better get to that one. That's a bit better. Because he was way down there, wasn't he? About 16th in qualifying, which is unlike him, as Kevin there gets really racy. That was with Timu. Timu actually wasn't Timu. Who was it? Tim rubbed the wall as he came on the outside of Kevin.
Yeah, it's a bit of a challenging section there. You don't want to get squeezed into the wall there, because that'll end you not very, very quickly. But once again, as they head through that tough opening sector of the track, Bernard, they've all seemed to have got through clearly, or cleanly, I should say, as they head around down into turn 3. Another passing opportunity there, as we see one pass made there up a bit further in the order. It looks like the team of Ascalante went through on Luke Whitten at turn 3 there, Bernie, and made that stick.
Yeah, and up front here we can see David Dorn having an awesome battle here with Josh Anderson. They were 2 wide, would you believe, coming up to the bridge. Josh tucked back in, but I tell you what, David's looking racy tonight.
Yeah, I'll tell you what, you can force an error from the guy you're trying to, if you get up the inside over the bridge there, Bernie, you can force them wide. It's a really tough line to hang on to, but the quality of these guys, they'll either know when to back out or perhaps potentially how to run too wide around there, Bernie. I'll be impressed to see it happen though.
Yeah, well, we saw it, didn't we, with Kevin and Tom last race. They were going too wide in a lot of places. You wouldn't expect them to, but there's very close contact there between David and Josh. Josh went to go on the inside. David came across on him. Josh then weaved on the other side. Big contact.
Yeah, big contact there. They really tried hard to make it work around to there, Bernie, but it doesn't look like they could quite get it sorted with the leader there. Just David Dorn losing the rear end of the car on the apex there, Bernie.
Yeah, we're having a look at the replay on this again. You can just see there David losing it on the apex, as you said, collecting Josh there, and fortunately, hopefully, David got out of that without too much damage. Yeah, he got it onto the infield, so good driving there to get it out of the way. But we've seen quite a few cars last night in the Australasian Super Skips, of course, coming to grief down there in turn 1 and 2.
Yeah, absolutely, Ben. It's a really tough section of the track. The rear of the car is very unweighted and unstable, and the real trick is to get the car counterintuitively pointed towards the outside of the circuit and running all four wheels straight. If you don't do that, you've got any steering angle on the car at all, the rear's going to step out, and you're going to either have to bail out of it into the kitty litter outside, or do what happened to me when someone lost the rear end and went shooting through the apex of turn 2, which of course is not ideal for anyone concerned.
No, definitely not. And at the moment we can see Nico Nasi making a move and Jeff Rayleigh on the inside, but Jeff's now got the inside run into, I think that's turn 3 or 4, and your top 10 at the moment, Jeff Rayleigh followed by Nico Nasi, as you can see on the screen. Timo Vascalampi's up into 3rd, Kevin Henderson 4th, Luke Whitten, he's sitting in 5th at the moment. If we go down and have a look at him, he's defending from Dylan Shepherd. Then we've got Tim Gaukridger and Jeremiah Morton battling it out, as well as Hakon. He's up to 9th now, starting from 16th. So a great run from him. And then Christian Kabanka, he rounds out your top 10.
Yeah, Hawkon and Jeremiah locked in a really tense battle, both up 7 positions from where they started. Hawkon really trying to make the best of this run to try and catch and pass Kevin, although Kevin, after all that action up front, he's now sitting with a big grin on his face in P4 at this stage, Bernie, really trying to cement his 2nd spot on the grid. But the pick of the battle at the moment is Dylan Shepherd going up the inside now of Luke Whitten, who swings out wide to try and make the better angle into turn 1. He's got the rear on the... Oh, he's hung on to it, Bernie. How's the car control? The rear of the car stepped out. He gathered it up, and now he's going to defend from Tim Gorkosher as they head down into turn 3, Bernie.
Yeah, meanwhile, Dylan's decided he's going to have a crack at Timu. That didn't faze either driver one little bit, did it? But I tell you what, Luke Whitten there holding it on the outside, fantastic car control, and now he's got a bit of a battle with him, with Tim Gaukridger.
Yeah, you're absolutely right, Bernie. Again, too wide. Dylan Shepherd going up the inside of Timo Vascalampi there, really working hard through the turn 8-9 complex now, Bernie, as they... Oh, again, now Tim Gorkrocher giving Luke all sorts of trouble. He's not going to hang on to it this time, Bernie. The rear steps out. He's collected 1-2 cars on the way through there, Bernie. I think he got a nudge on entry and the rear stepped out, and that's caused a bit of chaos, Bernie.
Yeah, we'll jump back and have a look at it. We also need to find out what's happened to Tom, because I've noticed Tom has retired.
Yeah, what happened there, Bernie, was he got caught up in that turn 1 incident between the leaders, Bernie, and unfortunately he copped damage there, and that was the end of his night. He tried to work his way around, but the car wouldn't help him with that. I just saw the incident between Luke and Tim Gorkosh again. Quite a bit of net code involved there. It just turned Luke around essentially, and he wasn't able to hang on to it.
Yeah, it looked like he got a couple of wheels out there on the dirt, which sent him around. It looks like the other drivers involved in that was Hakon Grebstad. No, it wasn't. It was Jeremiah Morton. Had nowhere to go with Luke spinning, and he's got lots of rear wing damage. The other car involved in that was Christian Kabanka, and he's got a lot of front end nose damage on that car.
Yeah, no, again, nowhere to go and just plowed into the rear of him. Again, Hawkon now, he didn't really gain a lot out of that. He was caught up in it and unable to take advantage, I guess. But surviving is the biggest advantage out of that. But he's still up 7 spots, and his equal biggest mover with Bart Martinovic tucking in behind him at the moment, both up 7 spots. But little mini battles all over the place at this stage, Brian.
Yeah, and of course we can see David Dorn sitting in 8th. He's now coming up behind Jeremiah, as Jeremiah now darts in, darts back. Tell you what, I don't know how they do that, jumping around like that, but obviously they know where each other's going. But now we've got Tim defending from Jeremiah, who's got rear wing damage, and David Dorn also has rear wing damage. Hakon, he's got a nice new shiny car there, so he may be one to watch.
Yeah, absolutely. I'll tell you what, though, the cream certainly rises to the top. Miko Nasi, up 4 positions from what was a poor qualification by his standards. He's driven an extraordinary race. He's picked his way through the incidents, and he's found his way right up to the front of this race, Bernie. And as they come towards the closing stages of lap 7 now, going through the blind, turn 10, 11 chicane there to round out as they head into the final corner. He's going to be really tough to beat from here, Bernie. I can't see too many people giving Miko much trouble from here, but what a fantastic drive to get to that point.
Yeah, it's an awesome drive, isn't it? And if anyone's going to make an awesome drive like that, it'll be Miko. But I'll tell you what, Jeff's not going to let him get away too quickly here. He's sitting on the back of him. We had a look as he came through the final corner onto the run. He didn't gain anything, but probably more importantly, he didn't lose anything. But meanwhile, up in third, we've got Kevin Henderson now got past Dylan Shepherd. So he's sitting in third. We know Kevin is pretty hungry this season, and then we've got Timu. He's rounding out our top 5.
Absolutely. Watching Dylan in previous races and again here tonight, I know very much like Kevin, he's very keen to get the elbows out and get past into whatever position he can. So it'll be interesting to see these two go head to head for that final spot on the podium. It was also interesting to know what you said about Jeff and Miko up front. Jeff certainly had the running of the draft such that it is up the main straight here, Bernie, but there's a big difference between being able to stick in the draft and actually challenge for position. So it'd be interesting to see as they close out lap 8 now what Jeff's able to do in the remaining 12 laps, Bernie.
Yeah, well, at the moment, he's, as you said, he's sitting there. He hasn't really had a go at Miko yet. Now the slipstream's coming in, but he's just lifting and quite happy to sit in Miko's stream at the moment. But then the question is, when he does want to make a move, does he have anything to throw at Miko?
Yeah, well, that's right. We won't know unless we're sitting in the cockpit ourselves, of course, whether or not he's hanging on or he's biding his time and to make the move at the best time that he can. You know, like no one but him will know whether he's got the pace to really pressure Miko or he's just happy enough holding on to keep the others at bay. So, like I said, it'll be really interesting to see how the final half of the race plays out, Ben.
Yeah, it certainly will. And meanwhile, Kevin has lost that position to Dylan Shepherd. We'll jump back and see if we can find that move. And yeah, it was just, oh, what a move. We'll jump back a bit further. That was an awesome move. Where was it, coming into turn 2 back there? And I'll tell you what, Dylan's not shy at any means.
No, he faked the outside and jumped to the inside on the approach to turn 1, Bernie. Tell you what, you've got to have some confidence to go through turn 1 without having set it up properly, let alone try to go side by side and overtake there. Kevin got such a surprise, he nearly lost the rear of the car, Bernie. What a move, he made it stick, and now it's a three-way battle with Timo Vascalampi joining back in, Bernie. Yeah,
and Timu got it a bit loose coming through that turn 1 kink there into turn 2. The front end just stepped out, but he's gathered it up and he's starting to put the pressure on. But meanwhile up front, Jeff Rayleigh is now on the back of Miko, so he's closed in. The question is now, what can he do about it?
Yeah, look, he's taking different lines there, trying to show Miko that he's interested, put him off a little bit, getting glancing in his mirror. Oh, Miko really running wide there, using every bit of the track. Does well to keep the grip and the stability of the car in there. The as we were saying last night, post-race, Bernie, the undulating nature of this track really makes you think about what the suspension and therefore the grip of the car's doing as they go through this blind 10-11 chicane again. Again now you'll see the weight of the car, the suspension pressed down as the car grips up for the final corner. Looks like Jeff's really got the run out of this corner, Bernie. He's right in the slipstream. He's going to have a look here, is he? Or is he going to back off? Looks like he's trying to time his run. He's going to go inside or out, or he's just going to sit there, Bernie.
Yeah, he's just lifting now, letting Miko know he's got the pace, but he's not willing to make the move just yet. 10 laps to go here at Oran Park, and Jeff does not want to show his cards.
Well, we know he's got a man with ice running through his vein, one of the Nordic soldiers around here, Bernie. Finnish, I believe Miko is, and we know that he'll be a cool head, so I don't know if this pressure to pass stuff will work for Jeff. He's going to have to take a risk at some stage. As you say, with the second half of the race ahead of him, hopefully we'll see him try and affect that pass at some stage.
Yeah, and speaking of cool heads, we just had Timu Vascalampi, Kevin Henderson going side by side, touching wheels down near the go-kart complex. Kevin's now got it a bit loose. Tim Gaukricher, he's jumped 2 positions and left Kevin and Timu to fight it out.
Oh, the rear of Tim Gorkroch's car really stepped out there through the twisty sections out the back of 7, 8, 9, Bernie, and what an amazing run. Oh, and who's diving up there? David Dorm charging back through the field, Bernie. Just dived up the inside of Timu into the final corner, Bernie. Made an amazing pass as he tries to fight his way back through, Bernie.
Yeah, and we're looking look at the front of Timu's nose. I know we shouldn't be looking at it with all this action, but it's got an arrow saying this way.
Oh dear, I'll just have to grab a look at that anyway. He doesn't want to get turned around this race, Bertie. And certainly that's the way we should be looking, apparently.
Yeah, so that last lap was interesting between Timu and Kevin. I don't know how many times they went off, but I was starting to wonder if we were watching a motocross.
Yeah, I can't believe it. I mean, they were both all over the track at different points, and Kevin somehow has managed to get back on the front of that, but what it has allowed is Hawkon now up 9 positions, Bernie, on a real charge through the pack. He's now sitting in P7 and just 2 cars adrift of Kevin now, Bernie, so we should just see what those two can work out between themselves.
Yeah, and I tell you what, looking at the moment, Mikko's put the foot down this time through. He's starting to drop Jeff. He's weaving up down the track, trying to break this slipstream, but he's got a good 2 car lengths now. So maybe Mikko's decided he's had enough and he wants to get a bit of a gap playing.
Yeah, potentially, or Jeff made a small mistake during that last couple of laps. Bernie, he's out to about 0.6 of a second now. The draft, whilst it doesn't really give you much of an opportunity to pass, it does keep you in touch, Bernie.
How's your heart going, mate? If you want to have a jump start, have a look back here in 3rd, 4th, 5th, 6th, 7th. They're all going at it. 2 wide, banging wheels. David went on the inside, turn 2, banged wheels with Kevin Henderson. Now he's on the outside of Tim, and Kevin's on the inside. Oh my goodness, yeah, I was waiting for that.
Yeah, it all came a cropper there. Hawkon, he's hit the side of the bridge on second go as well. That's an end to his night, a tragic end at that, Bernie, but they were too wide for so long through there. It was, I don't know how you could fit the cars through those sections like that, Bernie, but as it turns out, you probably can't.
Yeah, well, it looked like Hawkon lifted, didn't he? And then I'm not sure who it was behind him, just rear-ended him, which is very unfortunate because Hawkon was having an awesome race up until then.
Yeah, he was on a hard charge, wasn't he? I'll be interested to see if Kevin pulls into the pits here, Bernie. No, he looks to be staying out. I thought he might have picked up enough damage to stick on in there. One of the big winners out of tonight so far, Bernie, Dylan Shepherd. He's clear out by a better part of 5 seconds now in P3 after a hard charging run. He's up 8 positions as it turns out, Bernie. Kevin now fending off from his old foil there, Sam Katagazinos, who himself is streaming tonight, folks. So if you are interested in checking out another dual view of the race, you can ride on board with Sam at Twitch TV on his Twitch channel, Sam Katagazinos Racing. I think Bernie might have posted a link to it in the chat earlier tonight. Yeah. But sorry, go ahead, mate.
I was going to say, yeah, it's up the top of the chat there, guys, if you want to have a look at it. I was just going to say it was Timu that got in the back of Hawkon there.
Yeah, real shame. Those two are good mates, and they don't, of course, mean to do anything like that. The traffic really checked up, and that's what will catch you out. The side-by-side stuff means you go so much slower through the corner that the cars arriving late to the party will often be caught out. It can really check up worse than a parking lot at the shopping centre on a Saturday morning, Bernie.
Yeah, it certainly can, and that's exactly what it did now. 6 laps remaining at the moment. If we look up front, we've got Mikko Nasi. He stretched that gap to 0.7 of a second. Doesn't sound like a lot, but it's 3 times bigger than it was 2 laps ago. Dylan Shepherd, he's 6.2 seconds down and 5 seconds ahead of Tim Gaukridger, and Tim's defending from David Dorm here for 4th and 5th. Then we've got Sam Katagazinos now making a move on Kevin Henderson, and he makes it stick. Kevin went a bit scrappy on the outside, but now Timu's coming in, potentially pushing Kevin out. No, Kevin won't have anything to do with that. I tell you what, isn't Kevin an exciting driver tonight?
Yeah, I'm just wondering if he's got a bit of damage at all through that lap a couple of while ago. He's still, the rear of the car looks so unsettled. Timu, he couldn't be any closer unless he was driving the car himself at this stage, Bertie. But Sam, once again, he had a great run last night in the Australasian Super Skips. He's worked his way up the field. He's now sitting in P6, Bernie. He's doing a fantastic job.
Certainly is, and looking back on both of those cars, both Timu and Kevin have front wing damage, and the car behind them, that's I think it's Bart. Bart's also carrying front wing damage.
Yeah, Bart Martinovich, he looks to be carrying a little bit. It's hard. The ripple strips around here are quite high and can damage your front wing, as we see Timu now pull over the inside of Kevin Henderson. Kevin not taking any defensive lines here. The interesting thing about this run through turn 1-2, if you can get it done around the outside, which Kevin hasn't quite been able to do at this stage, Bernie, you can actually get the inside run to turn 3 and hold the position, but it takes a brave man to do it, or a brave person to do it, I should say, and it looks like Timu's defended Kevin again, and it's allowing Sam, if anything, just to skip away a little bit, Bernie.
Yeah, and I tell you what, it also takes a brave man to try to go on the inside of Kevin into turn 2. That's exactly what Bart tried, but Bart found the inside ripple strip as he all of a sudden found there was no gap. That's cost him quite a few, not spots, but time on the track. Now he's got Jared Marks now putting the pressure on him.
Yeah, Jared had a lose through turn 2 earlier in the race, and he's actually fought his way back into the top 10 through all the carnage, Benny. So he's doing remarkably well. I'll tell you who else is fighting their way back up in P5 at the moment. David Dorm, our pole sitter, who we saw early on almost get written off through turn 2 carnage. He's now on the back of Tim Gorkrocher, who's taking a defensive line, shows a bit of a defensive line, I should say, through turn 2. Now runs wide to try and get the angle. The rear of the car really wants to let go. He gets a bit of the yips, and looks like David Dorm's made another pass through there, back into the top 5, well in there, in fact, in P4, Burn.
Yeah, I didn't think he was going to make it work, but that's exactly what he did. So he's up to 4th, Tim's down to 5th. Now Sam, he's defending from Timu. Kevin Henderson, he's dropped off a little bit from these two battling, and now he's got Bart Martinovich, you know, the Bart guy, putting the pressure on.
Yeah, looks like he's giving him a bit of stick, and Jared Marks within half a second. So this is a battle back of 5 once again. There's battles raging everywhere. But Miko Nasi, I know he's having some network troubles, but he looks to be dropping down the field. I don't know if he's lost connection or he's just had a big blip. He's either going to reappear or drop right down in the order. Oh no, he's back up in front now, Bernie. He's just having some network issues.
Yeah, he's decided he wanted to make it a little bit exciting for us out there. He's got a lead now of 1.79 seconds. And I guess, you know, if he's blipping that badly, he's got to be a little bit concerned whether he's going to hold out to the end of this race. We've got 3 laps to go. But if I were him, I'd be a little bit nervous.
Yeah, absolutely. Sam Katagazinos now back in P6, fighting with Timu Vascalampi. Oh, Timu's got into the rear of him, unfortunately, and he lost his front nose. So that's a shame. We won't be able to see which way to go anymore, but he's managed to continue on with just the 3 laps, or the balance of 3 laps remaining. Bernie, Sam now in a very strong position, holding off a damaged Timu Vascalampi.
Yeah, I was going to say, we can't see his nose cone, but we can see bright red socks behind there as we're looking out the back of Sam Katakazinos' gearbox.
Yeah, well, it seems to be tracking okay, young Timu, as he puts pressure on the back of Sam. Just to see if Sam's picked up any damage there. I'll just hop on board. Yeah, he's got a bit of rear wing damage there, Bernie. He may have, in fact, picked up suspension damage, although the car seems to be tracking okay there. Which you see, he's taking a defensive line now as they head around for the penultimate lap, forcing Timu to the outside of the track now, but also compromising his own run. You know, he's done very well there, taking quite a conservative line, defending the inside through turn 2. Timu not getting the run that he needs. Sam immediately taking the defensive line into turn 3, and there's your best passing opportunities defended on lap 19 of 20, Bernie.
That was absolutely perfect what Sam did. He basically parked it on the apex there, made sure he slowed it up enough to keep Timu out, which basically just nullified his move, and then he did the same thing into turn 3.
Yeah, absolutely, and he's also brought Kevin Henderson well and truly into the mirrors. Oh, he almost loses it again, young Kevin. He's well and truly in the mirrors of Timu and getting him looking forward and back at this stage. Not sure whether to defend or attack, although it looks like at this stage in the final lap as Miko crosses the line now that it'll be all out attack. As he pulls, he's got to have a look on the inside of the second or the last corner now, Bernie. He's got a great run out. He's forced Sam to the outside, and he's looking like the drag race up the main straight now as they head across the line with just the one lap to go. He's going to force Sam to the outside, Bernie.
Yeah, so what does Sam do here? He doesn't want to lift because he'll get run over by the two behind him, but he's held out to dry. Now he's got to go in, which he does, and he defends from Kevin. That's probably the best of a bad situation for him, I think, at that point.
Yeah, look, if your main goal is survival there, Bernie, it's a good one to have, and he took quite a conservative line there. Didn't want to compete through turn 2, as only the bravest of the brave will do, and not all of them survive. There's a good percentage of them that fall off. So Sam deciding that discretion was a better part of valour there, and he's tucked in behind Timu now as Miko really looks like he's run away with this one, Bernie. He's now 3.8 seconds as he comes around the final corner and makes his way to take out quite a great victory there, Bernie.
Yes, around 11 of the Monday Night Lights goes to Miko Nasi. Jeff Rayleigh, great run by him, coming home in second. Dylan Shepherd comes home in third, another great run. Then we have David Dawn battling it out with Tim. David just holds Tim out at the line, and then here comes the train. Tumi Vascalampi, Sam Katakazinos, Kevin Henderson, Jared Marks, Bart Martinovojic, that's a one, Christian Kabanka finishing in 11th.
Yeah, looks like the field now coming across. Jeremiah Morton back there in 12th. Josh Anderson making his way around the track. Certainly not where we would have expected him to finish tonight, Bernie, after that early incident. Luke Whitten also having that major lose out the back of the track. Got a bit of a help from Netcode. Russell Clark, unfortunately, down at 15th. And our two retirees, Hawkon and Brebstad and Tom Ward, Bernie.
Yeah, it was quite a action-packed race, wasn't it? We were expecting big things from Tom as well as Josh tonight, but due to incidents that didn't eventuate. But I tell you what, look at Mr. Henderson. How much of the track did he not drive on tonight?
Oh, certainly got his money's worth, didn't he? There were a few of them out there that did. Driver of the night for me almost had to go to Dylan Shepherd, to be honest. He was up 8 spots there onto the podium, and some of the driving he put on tonight that we saw and that I caught as well was really quite outstanding. He was aggressive, but not too risky at the same time, not putting his race at jeopardy too much, but really moving strongly through the field. Really quite impressed. So an action-packed race, certainly some high-quality driving there, as you would expect with this calibre of field.
Yeah, definitely, and I was pretty keen to see how Hakon would have gone tonight if he hadn't got rear-ended by Timu, because he was moving through the field like a knife through butter, and there we go, Mr. Russell Clark. Yeah, do you know you're on TV, mate?
Maybe that's what he's thinking. Yeah, I couldn't agree more. Hawkon was on an amazing charge, and for a guy who hasn't had a lot of track time this week, as we mentioned previously, seriously impressed with his charge through the field, and then of course to have it brought undone, and then to see his chief rival in Kevin Henderson having a few moments himself and dropping a couple of positions down into P8, it could have really shaped the championship up for the final week. Now, Kevin finishing in P8 won't necessarily score too many points, and Hawkon not scoring any. So it's still plenty to play for as we head to Bathurst for the final round next week, Bernie.
Yeah, it's definitely a lot to play for, isn't it? And I'll just see if we can bring up the point score very quickly so we can see just exactly where we think things are moving. So Luke Whitten was on 184 to Kevin's 172. Hakon was just a point behind him. So I guess now from that, you're saying that there's not going to be too much of a movement.
No, just having a quick glance through the drop rounds. Kevin scores 23 points tonight, which drops to 20. So he'll actually go up by 3 points to 175. So, but with just the 4 points on Hawkon, in P3 now. That'll, like I said, that's not much of a gap to bridge when it comes to next week's race at Bathurst, Bernie. So I suggest that Luke not scoring any points tonight. Look, it's 9 points, so realistically, it's all still to play for here. It's still Luke's championship season to lose, but it's a lot closer than perhaps many of us were expecting halfway through the season.
Yeah, well, with one episode, I guess you could say, round to go. It's going to be climaxing at Bathurst once again, which these things tend to do around Bathurst.
Yeah, they do. Plenty of action around Bathurst, to be sure, and it'll be a win it or bin it event, no doubt.
Yeah, I reckon you're right, but let's go through the race results. So Miko Nasi there, up 4 positions. He started in 5th, comes home with the win. Jeff Rayleigh finishes in 2nd. Dylan Shepherd up 8 positions to come home in 3rd, with David Dorm coming home in 4th position. In 5th tonight we had Tim Gaukridger, followed by Timu Vascalampi, and then Sam Katakazinos in 7th. Finishing in 8th was the exciting Mr. Kevin Henderson, followed by Jared Marks in 9th. But that guy in 10th, followed by Christian Kabanka in 11th, and Jeremiah Morton finishes in 12th. So at the moment on that screen, Dylan is the biggest mover. Looking further down the field, we had Josh Anderson. He dropped 11 positions to come home in 13th, with Luke Whitten dropping 4, finishing 14th. Then we had Russell Clark finishing 15th. Then our 2 retirees, Hakon Grebstad and Tom Ward, both retired after incidents, and unfortunately that ended their night. But looking at the biggest shaker, it'd have to be either Josh Anderson, the finisher, or Tom Ward, who retired from the race.
Yeah, Josh down 11 spots. He stuck around and fought back a couple of places with the later retirements, and Tom Ward deciding better of it and taking his bat and ball and going home. He lost 13 spots from where he started in P4, finishing at the tail end of the field. It's very costly to do that in terms of your skill rating, your I rating, Bernie. He'll lose, from what I can tell, about 123 hard-earned I rating points. So that's a bit of pill to swallow on top of having your race bin, Bernie. So real shame for Tom, and hopefully we'll see him back in future events.
Yeah, hopefully next week at Bathurst it'd be great to see Tom out there. And I'm thinking Oran Park has a lot of runoff. We noticed Timu and Kevin taking a lot of road and a bit more, probably more than they could chew at times. But coming into Bathurst, I'm thinking there's a lot of runoff up there. They should do the same sort of thing.
Oh dear, I can't. Coming across the top there, as you well know, Bernie, you're either on the track or you're in the pits, because the walls are so close. And the funny thing about it, those of you who follow iRacing will know that safety rating is measured by your off tracks and staying within the bounds of the track. And what I find when I race Bathurst, Bernie, is either I've got a very low incident count. Either I've finished successfully or not, because I've either finished successfully and not had any incident, or I've had a 2-point collision with a wall, Bernie. So it's one or the other, I find. So it's usually a good week for your licence and your safety rating, but results can be exciting at the same time.
Yeah, well, that's for sure. That's an understatement about the exciting part. Now, looking in our green room, we have some exciting people waiting to come up. We've got Jeff Rayleigh, who came home in 2nd. Dylan Shepherd's down there in 3rd. And, of course, Kevin Henderson is also in the green room. So I'm thinking, should we bring them up in the order they finished?
Absolutely. I'll just bring up Jeff now. Do you want to do a talk, or you want me to have a chat first?
Oh, you can have a chat. I've got to queue up the end videos.
Beautiful. I'll bring him up now. Jeff, Alex McKellar and Bernie Wimmers here, mate, in the RRTV commentary booth. Welcome on board. P2 tonight, mate. Hard-earned race, I would suggest, in the tale of one of the world's greatest in Miko Nasi, but a fantastic result for yourself, mate. How was the racing out there?
Yeah, it was pretty good. It was really wild at the start, but once Josh and that crashed, I was able to get through luckily, and I just held onto the back of Mika, and yeah, I thought I was going okay, and then I just made a few mistakes and then lost the draft and had nothing for him. It was too quick after that.
Yeah, I was saying at one point during the race that you were right up on his tail, and there was one point where you clearly had the run on him up the main straight, and you lifted up and just stuck him behind. And I said to Bernie at the time, the only one person out there knows, whether you were going to push to pass him or just try and hang on to the draft. Was it just hanging on there, or did you actually think you had a real crack at him?
Well, at that point in time, I thought I had a crack, but I just didn't want the third place to catch up. To leave out the drama. So I just wanted a clean battle.
Yeah, absolutely. That makes a lot of sense, mate, because battling is what brings the other guys into play. And certainly Dylan, who finished in P3, had an amazing run through the field, and he was charging very hard. So quite a sensible strategy there, mate. It served you very well, finishing P2 in what's been, an amazing strength of field. I don't know if you saw, it was just over 4,000 tonight. So there's a lot of points on offer there and a great bunch of IR. You must be very satisfied with the result.
Yeah, it's pretty good. I gained about 90, so pretty happy with it.
Yeah, it's not too often you can gain 90 I rating in a race, mate, but I'll hand you over to Bertie to see what sort of questions he's got for you.
Yeah, fantastic drive, Jeff. We were watching you on the back of Miko there and wondering if you when you're going to make a move, because we noticed you're lifting a little bit, just tucking in there, but unfortunately it looked like Miko just put the foot down and sort of ran away on you a bit.
Yeah, you're not wrong. I regret not passing him now.
That was a good drive, though. An awesome drive, and especially in a field of this size, coming home in second, something to be very, very proud with, that's for sure. As far as your car setup tonight goes, you must have been pretty happy with it.
Yeah, it was pretty good. I just used the setup off VRS, but compared to Mika, it seemed to lack a little bit off the corner, but
Fantastic. Well, before we let you go, Jeff, is there any sponsors or anyone you'd like to give a shout out to?
Yeah, just all the guys at One Performance Racing and Fast Carts Racing Developments. Dylan Shepherd for racing with me all week. And yeah,
I was going to say, you don't want to go too slow with Dylan. He was on his way trying to catch you, but he was a long ways down. But it could have got exciting if he had caught up to you two.
Yeah, I didn't want to take the risk of crashing into each other a fair bit, so I just leave it at that.
Fair enough. No worries, mate. Well, thanks for popping up. Hopefully we'll see you next week at Bathurst for the finale, and if it's anything to go by from tonight, it should be quite an interesting race.
Yeah, it should be good fun. Cheers, guys.
See you, mate. So that was Jeff Rayleigh, folks. He came home in second. Now the next person to come into the green room will be Mr. Dylan Shepherd, Mr. Mover of the night, I would say, Alex.
Absolutely. I'll bring him up and surround him with praise, so to speak. G'day, Dylan. Alex McKellar here, mate. Welcome to the RRTV commentary booth. Fantastic drive tonight, mate. Biggest mover in the field, up 8 spots. We saw you carve your way through a really talented field tonight, mate. You must be really happy with that result.
Yeah, mate, I'm absolutely stoked. We're just able to take advantage of some other people's misfortunes, I think, tonight. Really happy about it. It just felt like the car didn't want to come on until after the first 5 laps, and once it did, it just became a rocket. Like, to be passing some of the guys I was passing, I wasn't expecting it, but I had the car underneath me, and it was just carrying me along. So yeah, great race tonight.
Yeah, how did you find the early going, mate? There was a lot of traffic there, and as you said, so you would have started in P11. There was a lot of action up front early. A couple of the leaders went out, and then there was action everywhere. You look, cars going left and right, and every bit of the circuit taken advantage of. What was it like trying to pick your way through that field?
Yeah, mate, it was complicated. You had to really time your run every time. Like, I think I was passing Luke under to turn 1-2 on one lap, and there was a second gap to the car in front, but by the time we were at the apex of turn 2, I was actually up the inside of the next car just because they were all squabbling. So, like, normally you don't want to pass people because you want to try and catch up, but at this time you could pass them and you're still catching people. But yeah, it made for a fantastic race. It was a bit unfortunate, some of the incidents, but yeah, it was just all about timing really, and just trying to keep your nose clean.
Yeah, absolutely. There was a bit of luck there too, because once you got to the front of that pack fighting for third position, they all kept squabbling and allowed you to skip away. And then, as you say, with the car you had and the pace you had, you were able to make a nice clean run. Not quite able to get onto the front, guys, but certainly a fantastic drive nonetheless, mate. So congratulations. I'll hand you over to Bernie for his questions.
Yeah, fantastic drive, Dylan. You got the biggest mover award tonight, and you definitely came through that field pretty quickly. Very exciting to watch you do it. As far as questions go, Alex, have I got any questions?
I don't know, mate. Have you got any in the old kit bag there, mate? I think I don't know. I was just left really quite impressed with the way you did that, Dylan.
Yeah, no,
Carving
that's
through
good.
a field like that, it was excellent, mate.
Yeah, it definitely was good, but I don't think I've got any more questions for you because Alex stole them all out of the bag earlier. But yeah, storming drive, Dylan. Are we going to see you next week at Bathurst?
Yeah, I think so, guys. We haven't been in the Skippy for a long time, but me and Jeff, teammates, we decided to give this week a crack, and the pace came after doing a couple of races. So yeah, really exciting to be back in the old stomping ground and to be with the RRTV broadcast again. It's been a while since I've been in one of them, and it's just a good feeling as well. So yeah, hopefully we'll be back next week 'cause it's Bathurst, and who can miss out on Bathurst?
Oh, exactly right. And we're speaking to Jeff and we're saying that you were coming through the field, and I think he had added incentive to stay well ahead of you because he said you guys bang wheels at times.
Yeah, look, we're teammates on and off the track, and yeah, we sometimes trust each other a little bit too much on the track, and yeah, sometimes it ends up in a bit of an incident.
So which one's Oran and which one's Perez?
Oh, mate, I'm definitely the one that causes the incidents, eh?
Fair enough. Anyway, Dylan, thanks for coming up. It's been a while since we've, as you said, seen you on a RRTV broadcast. It was definitely great to have you back. Before you go, though, do you want to give a shout out to all your sponsors and people that helped you set up that car?
Yeah, the guys at One Performance Racing, obviously, with Jeff and the other boys. Fast Karts Racing Developments wouldn't be here without them and their tips as well. Also got a couple of guys at Positive Sim Racing. I race with them. They helped me a lot with the VRS coaching as well, VRS as well. So yeah, thanks to all the guys that help us get to where we are. We're starting to get a bit towards the front, and yeah, happy to be along for the ride.
Fantastic. Well, we're looking forward to seeing you back next week at Bathurst, and I think it's going to be an exciting race, if anything, of tonight's races to go by.
Yeah, exactly. I think the draft up Mountain Straight and down Conrod will keep the field together, hopefully.
Yeah, definitely. Well, anyway, congratulations, third place, biggest mover of the night, and can't get much better than that apart from winning the race. But yeah, good effort, mate.
Yeah, thanks, guys, and thanks for putting on the broadcast, Bernie. Doing an amazing job again.
Yeah, no worries. Alex just makes me look good, that's all.
Oh, that's very nice of you to say, Bernie. You do a bit that of yourself, mate.
All right, see you, Dylan.
See you guys. Have a good one.
Okay, folks, lock up your daughters, lock up your pets. We've got Mr. Henderson coming up, and we'll have to give him a new name. What can we call him? Mr. Take the Dirt Henderson?
Oh, I don't know. Off-track Hendo? I don't know. He's got it covered, hasn't he? All right, I'll bring him up. Do you want to go first, seeing as I stole all your questions?
Yeah, I'm just thinking of a big intro. Yeah, bring him up.
Yeah, right on, mate.
Hi there, folks. He's been known to be Mr. Endo. Here's Hendo. How you going, Kevin? How's that? I was trying to think of a big way we could introduce you. Mate, how much of the grass did you get caught in the front of that car? You were everywhere tonight.
Oh, I tell you, Bernie, that was just, what a race. That was just punted from pillar to post, dodging cars, and just, I went in there thinking, just drive smart, Kevin, you're in front of it to be, just keep it on the island, and then I got up to third and got excited, and there it all went to.
Yeah, well, it was some pretty awesome racing. We saw you and Tom in the first race before we went on air, and I thought that was pretty exciting, but then we had like four around you, and it got very exciting to say the least. And how's your heart going? I'm sure I could hear you puffing from way up in the comm box here.
I'm still pounding. That was the most intense race I think I've ever been in. That was just, I don't know, I'm sure Dennis put a contract on me there. You know.
Yeah, no, it was awesome driving and bumping wheels. I don't know how you do it in open wheelers, but you guys managed to do it. And some of the passes that were being made around you and with you and on you, and you were doing them, very exciting. So thanks for entertaining us and all the viewers tonight. It was very good. Of course, as you said, it's sort of you sort of dropped to the end of that battle pack because you got a bit too excited, I think.
Yeah, I think I had a bit of damage on the car from all the knocks and bangs and excursions off track that I had. I sort of seemed to, just couldn't get the speed out of it that I wanted to. So I pelted the wall coming out of the last corner on the first lap just to get things started. But that didn't seem to worry me. But after that, at all, yeah, I think I must have damaged the car somewhere along the way. Just didn't have the grunt down the straight that I needed.
There you go, Alex. I knew the excuses would come out sooner or later.
Well, Kevin, you I reckon watching that race, the highs and the lows, or the ups and the downs, so to speak, I reckon you raced with the majority of the people in the race tonight. You were up there in 4th and 3rd for a while, I think, and then back down to 8th and everywhere in between, mate. Who was the best person to race with out there tonight?
Oh, me, Alex.
It goes without saying, of course.
No, I honestly couldn't say. I mean, it was really heady, and everyone on this track, everyone just tries so hard and takes every little initiative or opportunity to pass, because it's so hard to pass here, and you're just sort of in there hanging on, trying to on the island. It's just mega intense, all those guys. It's a credit that there wasn't more carnage. I know a few people got bent up. Yeah, it's just it was intense. He got to lap 16, 12 incident points. And I thought, oh no, just calm down, calm down.
That's right.
They're coming at me from everywhere.
Yeah, you're right. I was actually quite impressed. You're right. There was the odd incident here and there, and it was all small mistakes. But everyone was so close on the edge, and they were using every opportunity to get past. I mean, I saw an overtake done up over the bridge, which you don't see terribly often. There, guys setting up passes and defending passes through turn 1 to all the way around to turn 4 on the approach up to the bridge. And you really had to earn your money tonight, and you worked harder than most, I think, tonight, Kevin. Like I said, up and down, up as high as fighting for a podium, and then back down to P8 where you finished ultimately. And to bring it home undamaged was a real straight at least. I think, Kevin, was a really good effort. So congratulations.
Yeah, thanks. I think Timu got me on the inside going over the bridge there. I sort of let him go. I tried that move during a official race and got my nose cut off, so I give him a fair bit of room through there. But yeah, no, like I say, everyone was just looking for every opportunity, and some of those guys are hard to pass, I'll tell you. Like, wow, I raced before with Tom, jeepers creepers, they're so hard to pass.
Yeah, it was a good race before, and then this one as well. I mean, I'm pleased to say, you may not be aware, we had the highest strength of field of the week, only race to crack 4K this week. So they don't come much tougher, mate, and I'm pleased to say there was a lot of that was due to the local talent, so of which you can count yourself amongst it, mate. So a great showing for Monday Night Lights again, and mate, I'll tell you, you've grabbed an extra 3 points on the Monday Night Lights standing, so you've cemented second spot for another week. And those top 3 spots between you, Luke, and Hawkon are still up for grabs next week, so everything to play for.
Yeah. I realise that next week's going to be another one. I think I'll just try and do what I did this week and play it safe.
Someone else will be driving it for you then, is that what you're saying?
Yeah. I just keep it on the island and get a finish. That was the plan tonight. I got the finish, but everything else sort of went out the window. Once the red mist descends, you know what it's like, Alex. Yeah, I'm in 3rd. Let's go. Get out of my way.
That's right. All right, mate, before we let you go, is anyone you'd like to give a shout out to?
TV and you guys for your broadcast and supporting the community. It's great work you've done here, Alex. It's, like you say, the highest strength of field for the week, and we're normally up there in the top 1 or 2. It's an outstanding achievement.
Yeah, it's a great community effort. Thanks, Kevin. But and everyone really contributes. Really, it's a very positive community. Everyone getting in and doing their bit and making it what it is. So it's a lot of fun, and it's a great platform for the local guys to be on the global stage. So thanks for your efforts, Bernie and Kevin. It's been great.
Yeah, thanks, Alex. And I'll just say, it's more like a league race, this race. There's no one bitching and screaming and yelling and carrying on. We all know that people make mistakes, and we sort of, take it in our stride, which is great.
Absolutely. Thanks again, Kevin, mate, and all the best for next week.
No worries. See you then, guys.
See ya. Yeah, I was going to say, Alex, a couple of the guys in the chats, Russell said to say hi to Kevin, so I didn't get to say that, but Sam also said it looked like Kevin had the most incident points. So if that's playing it safe, I'd hate to see when he lets his hair down.
But let's just say playing it safe. None of those words are in Kevin's middle name, right? Because I know that once he gets out there, he wants to make every post a winner, and I know that's how he enjoys his racing as well. So he had every opportunity and more out there tonight. So look, this track brought out a sensational display from some of the best drivers going around in these cars, Bernie. And so I couldn't be happier with the turnout and the racing we saw on track.
That was absolutely fantastic, and I'll set you a little bit of a challenge for next week. I want you to hide a microphone inside Kevin's helmet so that we can cross over to him and just listen to him, listening to his Mozart as he just, caresses his car around Bathurst.
I'm picturing more AC/DC playing than myself, but you never know.
Yeah. I was thinking Meatloaf maybe, or I don't know how he rolls. It could be YMCA, who knows?
Who knows what's in there, Bernie, but certainly it'll be firing up, whatever it is.
Certainly will. And looking at the week ahead, folks, it's a little bit of a rest time on RRTV this week. The V8 Supercars is having a rest night, and then of course the GTE Asia Pacific will be back on Saturday night, 10 p.m. Australian Eastern Standard Time, or GMT plus 10. If you're joining us from iRacing Live, you can see it scheduled there, or you're welcome to join us on our YouTube channel. But then Sunday night, another off night, because we've finished up with the Australasian Super Skips now. So then the following Monday is the big Bathurst race. So we'll be definitely looking forward to that one, Alex.
100%, Bernie. It's not often we get the last race of the season deciding all three positions on the podium. It's not beyond the realms of possibility that Kevin could go for first or third at this stage, and certainly Hawkon's in with a shot of jumping up the spots as well. So at least one spot. Luke's going to be hanging on and defending. Didn't score any points tonight, unfortunately. It'll be interesting to see what next week brings, but certainly no better place to have it than the home of racing, motor racing in Australia at Bathurst, Bernie.
Oh, exactly right. It's a fantastic way to send off the Monday Night Lights season, that's for sure. And if tonight was anything to go by, next week it's going to be even better, I suspect. And how about the top strength of field? That is absolutely awesome. And I think that's one of the first we've done, isn't it?
What's that, mate? The top three in the last round, did you say?
Yeah, no, the highest strength of field for this round.
Oh, yeah, I beg your pardon. Yeah, no, absolutely. We've done it. I think we did it once last season, but the midweek US strength of field race is really taken off with the international drivers, and a few of the local guys get a run in there every now and then. I know I took a run in there, and even Jared had a run, and one of the other guys in here tonight, Jeremiah Morton, gets a run over there, and that's generally the strongest field you'll see each week. But for us to take it out even once this season, after being perpetually the bridesmaid, so to speak, is a massive achievement, and really, really pleased with the support we've been getting for the Monday Night Lights.
Yeah, it's been absolutely brilliant. But until then, folks, it's just about the end of our night. So, Alex, did you want to say good night to all the nice folks out there?
Yeah, good night, everyone. Thanks for joining us and interacting in the chat. And I know Dennis Fiedler's issuing out a challenge that he might make a run at the podium as well. So once he gets his wheel sorted, we'll be looking forward to seeing him back on track next week after taking a well-earned break. But otherwise, thanks everyone for the support. You guys turning up each week and participating and joining in with us has really made this event what it is. So thanks to them, and thanks to you, Bertie, also for your ongoing support.
Yeah, no worries. So until next Saturday night, folks, hope you have a fantastic work week. On behalf of Alex McKellar and Bernie Weemers, thanks for watching us tonight, and I hope you enjoyed the telecast. But until next time, good night.